Hello, this is Brett Wild, and I'm going to reshoot an approach into Grand Junction, Colorado, which is Kilo Golf Juliet Tango. It was part of a video I shot just a few days ago, and I just wanted to let the aircraft be as natural as possible. In other words, with as little interference from me as could be. So we're approaching our top of descent, and I've dialed in an altitude of 6,700 feet, and that's because I am setting it for Jenny, where I hope to intercept the guide slope. I'll probably pick up the localizer further out, but we're landing on runway 11. And as you see, the throttles are coming back, and you can see our route here. So max is going to be our transition point and where we turn towards the airport, and I've got that programmed into my FMC. You can see all this here. One thing I did differently in this flight is I actually programmed an arrival airport. There is no star, which is why I've kind of hacked something together. So let's see what happens as we get a little bit closer. I won't bore you with a long descent, but let's turn on our seat belts. So back to you in a few. Continuing our descent, we have max straight ahead of us, about 9 miles out. And if you look at my FMC, I've plugged in an altitude that was incorrect. It was at 2,500 feet. Maybe it's because of all the messing around I did trying to get these waypoints cleaned up, and I put in 220 just to see if it actually obeys. Usually it trips back to 250, but we'll see what's happening. Oops, we were looking for drag because we need to be at 10,000 feet at max. You can see that here. And what else? I've got the two nav radios dialed into our localizer frequency, which is 110.3. So that's good. And we can turn on our lights, and it looks like we're going to hit our altitude. Go ahead and you'll see that the spoilers are up, so I'm going to go ahead and retract those. Again, our target altitude is 6,700 feet. So at Loma, I want to be at, see, it's flipped back to 250. So that's usually the only thing that you really need to play with on this aircraft. However, my friend Steve says flaps will do wonders. So I can put a notch of flaps in there when we get to 250. Oh, it did go back to 220. Good to know. And it's still looking for drag. And I've got my localizer bug showing up here. It's still hollow. But I'm going to go ahead and, oh, here's my guide slope. And we're below the guide slope where we want to be. So I'm going to go ahead and click approach. And the next thing I'll see is a yellow warning or notification that I can go ahead and add a second AP autopilot. So our localizer has been captured. And maybe I'll just arm that spoiler and start dropping some flaps as we get closer. We're still 15 miles out. And you can see that the aircraft is slowing. Another theory that my friend Steve and I have had. So I've got my brakes set here. And I'm waiting for this guide slope to come down. Looks like it's starting now. So we're still flying under it. Our speed bug has been set to looks like about 147. I have this message here, velocity approach. It's not happy with the speed. Maybe somebody could fill me in on that. I have done some research, but I just can't find anything definitive. Alright, here comes our guide slope. We'll keep an eye on that. Another notch of flaps. Look out over the window. You can see the airport out there. View out the window. Oh, they always put their shade down. Fine. Again, out the front. Things look good. Notice our guide slope. There, it finally turned magenta. And I'm going to go ahead and click this other. So I've got both of those on. You have to have your flight director on both ends. So we're down to about 145 and a few more flaps, and we're about 6 miles out, so we can go ahead and drop the gear. Another notch of flaps. And we'll just get some lights ready. Back in the cockpit. So my PAPI lights are registering correctly, 2 and 2. 2 red, 2 white. The Rockies over to the left.
500.
So 40 degrees of flaps. My guide slope bug is dancing around here, but
Light slope. Light
100.
slope. Light slope.
50.
Light slope.
30. 20. 10.
no, I did not get Autoland or flare on that. Not sure why. But reverse thrust on.
Take the captain just a few moments to taxi to the gate, so we ask that you remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the seatbelt sign has been turned off.
And again, no scenery. There is an airport available, I just haven't installed it.
We also ask that you keep the aisles clear of any carry-on baggage.
And we'll hold short of the active taxiway and begin cleaning up our aircraft. So, thanks for joining me. 2 questions remain. Why didn't I get the Autoland and flare? And also, what is this all about? Oops, unable cruise altitude. That's interesting. Always a surprise with this aircraft, but I still really like it. So, until next time.